Welcome to the Snake Pit.
What's up, y'all? Thanks for joining me back here at the channel. Yeah, you're down here in my snake pit. Whoosh! Been a while. It's been a while. I want to do this vid for a few reasons. If you want to hang out, that's awesome. First up, well, the main reason actually is just kind of my farewell, last toast, so to speak. Not my last cheers, but last toast to MrHolster. He passed away last week. Good friend of ours on YouTube, and reminisce a little bit about him. I wasn't as close as a lot of people. You know, I never went to his house or nothing like that, but YouTube is a place. It's kind of weird. Made a lot of good friends here, and ruined a lot of friendships here too. And that's how it goes, I guess. That's life. I am a hard person to get along with, especially online. But hold up. I want to get MrHolster up in here. West Texas dust. That's about as close of a shot glass as I have here. That reminds me of MrHolster. Well, Black Bart from Casa Bonita, little Mexican food place down there in Colorado. Not the greatest food, but they put on like a show. They cliff dive, all that type of stuff. I'm gonna have this set up and ready. You want to stick with me at the end? We'll do a little toast. MrHolster, he did like rye whiskey, which I do not have. This one has a nice, let's get a little bit more in there. It's a school night, so I'm not going to partake very much. It does have a nice color to it. This is just some cheap Kessler American blended whiskey, and it's got the E in it. Scotsman, that's how it's spelled in the US of A. We'll put MrHolster. Oh, I knocked down my little Punisher. You guard that whiskey. I don't know if that's even on camera. Nope. Turn that camera. There we go. We got MrHolster hanging out with us right there. Right there. I will have one light beer because I am super fat nowadays. Trying to cut back. But what's a hangout vid without a beverage? If you don't drink, that's fine. Grab a ice water. I've done that before. Dr. Pepper, Coke, your drink of choice. Ain't nothing wrong with that. All things in moderation. And I wish this was a Stella Artois, but it's actually Alone with Company's favorite. Yeah. It's Miller time! Alright, got a few things I want to talk about, to include some MrHolster things. It's refreshing. So, let's just reminisce about MrHolster. Me and MrHolster went back quite a ways. Not quite a ways, but a ways. He actually had several different channels. One was, I wish I remember all the names of them. One was Glock something. I wonder if I have them saved. That'll be interesting if I can find them. Because I kind of stopped watching because he focused everything on the MrHolster channel, as far as I know, last couple years. But before that he had, of course he had like one for Jack, that type of thing. But he had something called Glock something. I gotta find that because he had some vids on there. But you know, just the usual, hanging out, chatting with MrHolster back and forth on videos, that type of thing. I wasn't lucky enough to go up to his ranch or anything like that. Didn't call him on the phone. People will give me their phone numbers, but I'm down here in my basement. I'm extremely introverted type of person, believe it or not. I'm sure you do. But so if you give me your phone number and I don't call you, I don't call a lot of people. I actually don't like talking on the phone. But I will. I have to do it for my job quite a bit, which, I don't know, maybe that's why I don't like doing it socially anymore, but you know, the texting, that's the thing. I remember when texting was like, I was like, there's no way I'll be texting anybody, that's dumb, I'll just call them. Now I'm all about the texting or whatever. So easy now with the bigger phones, full keyboards, and voice to text. It does mess mine up quite a bit, but I have an old ass Galaxy S7 phone. Still paid off. It's like a paid off car. Try to run it till it breaks, and they're trying to break it with every freaking update. Something weird goes on where it slows down. I have to get rid of an app because now I don't have enough memory. Annoying. So yeah, still rocking the Galaxy S7 actually. It's over here on the charger. There she is. Ooh, playing a game of chess online. One of my old Air Force buddies, James. It is 17 degrees. 17 degrees right now. That's not going to focus. Snowed a little bit today. I was actually home all day because one of my kids was sick. And my wife's already gone to school. Yeah, she's going back to school. She's in her 3rd semester of nursing school. Very proud of her. So you have to do your prerequisites, which she had some of them, but they didn't transfer over from years back because they were too old. So she had to do a lot of that again. And she's going for BSN, so bachelor's in nursing degree. You can stop at the ASN and go get your license, but she'll get that license along the way. I encourage her to do the BSN program. It's a little better. And it's through the university. So after this semester she'll have, let's see, I believe 3 more semesters of actual nursing, and it is a challenge for her. She spends a lot of time studying and then doing the clinicals. The schedule through the week kind of changes. She's usually gone a lot of times she's gone before I even get up with the kids, so it's kind of my responsibility to get the kids going, get them to school, and then get my butt to work. It's kind of a quick timeline in the morning. Then because my schedule was adjusted to, which I'm thankful for, they were able to adjust my schedule a little bit. I can drop the kids off, my 2 youngest, and get to work. And then I'm at freaking work till 5. And then go pick the kids up from the after school program. Then we meet back here for dinner. Anyway, one of mine was sick, so I had to call in and use sick leave. Luckily I can use it for a sick child. Well, I think it was a tummy virus, but she's feeling a little better now. She was able to eat, so that's good because I can't miss tomorrow. Today I really needed to be there. I'm in one of those jobs right now. Never thought I'd be in this type of job. Not wrench turning anymore, more of an office job, so it's non-stop meetings, and if you miss a day it's like you're behind. Like it takes like the full week to try to catch up. And we were able to do any type of overtime we needed, but with the budget right now, no overtime, so it's like just got to be as efficient as possible while you're there, and it's hard. It's a game changer every day. Something's changing. So I don't want to complain about that because I'm a sole breadwinner. It's putting food on the table. It's frustrating of a job as it is. Putting food on the table, right? Just barely. But enough for me to get like a freaking drink, so I'm not bad. I'm not bad off. Don't shed any tears for me. But like I said, I am proud of my wife for going back to nursing, or going back to school for nursing. It's friggin' awesome. She was a pharmacy technician before, ever since I knew her, actually. And I mean, this nursing stuff, like I said, it's hard, but it's a really rewarding career from what I've seen. And it's going to be great once she's done with this. And I'm trying to support her as much as possible because she supported me. She sacrificed her career multiple times when I was active duty Air Force. You know, you move base to base, and yeah, she was able to get a pharmacy license here, pharmacy tech license here, and get another job. But it's like restarting every time. And you know, you can't. It's hard. It's hard to build up a retirement, all that stuff. That stuff didn't happen. A couple times she had to work as a contractor. which those contracting jobs, I tell you what, they usually pay a little better, but a lot of times you don't get the benefits, or, and the contract was with the base I was at. So she's working at the base pharmacy as a contractor. She kept trying to get into the federal service line, but couldn't. And that would have been a little better for us moving, but, well, maybe not, the way those things work out. Either way, you get the point. She sacrificed for me, and at some points she was just, taking care of the kids, trying to do that at the same time. And one of the contract jobs, it actually just poof, that's the other thing. Poof, it can be gone. They have to cut back so many, or the company has a contract, loses it, another company buys them out. She worked for a couple different, it was weird, like it was Native American owned entities. They bid and got the contract, so she's working for them on base. It was really weird. The whole contract system is just, it's kind of foobar, actually, to be honest. But that's the way the federal government likes to do things sometimes, those contracts. That way they can just turn off the money the next year or two, or get someone to low bid, and that's what happened. She had to take a pay cut a few times, moving from contract to contract. It's like, you want your job still, you're going to have to drop your hourly wage. So, trying to support her as much as possible. She's doing that full-time, back to school for nursing, and her grades are really good. It shows. Whereas I've seen, people in her class, or classes she have had, try to work part-time or whatever and do it. It's almost impossible. They either failed the test or fell out of a class or something like that. So, not to mention, just restarting a career at our age. And she's slightly younger than me, but basically my age, and that's not easy. It wasn't easy for me coming out of the Air Force and going into an office type job, because busted up my back and neck. But I don't want to talk about that. MrHolster. Let's get back to MrHolster. So, as uncomfortable of a subject as this is, I made a lot of, I don't know how to put this. I was an a-hole, like, at the beginning of last year, I think, time frame, to a lot of people. And thanks for anyone that stuck with me, or any other people we were able to patch back up. That's called adulting, I guess, but things get blown out of proportion or whatever. And I wouldn't say I went that far with MrHolster, but I did sometime last year. I don't remember when. I put up a vid, and I think I actually pulled it down because I didn't like seeing it. It was a vid on NRA. NRA kept sending me junk mail, like I put on there, whatever I put, and it wrote on there, I'm not signing up, blah blah. Sent it back because I'm kind of done with the NRA. Didn't like the direction they're going. I don't think they spend their money properly, that type of thing. And he wrote several big, long posts back then. So I guess he used to lobby for the NRA. And I'd get through some of it, and I would just be so pissed off. Like, I was so pissed off at people just attacking me over this NRA video. I think I put some rude comment like, he said something like, it was probably meant in a joking way, but maybe not. He said, I said, I'm not going to read your novel about this. I'm not signing back up for the NRA. He's like, you shouldn't disrespect your elders. And I was like, you're disrespecting me over here on my channel. That's a regret right there. And I did apologize to him later, but our interaction just wasn't the same after that, to be honest. Still love the guy. And but that's going to show you, life gets short. So, I did my best to patch that up later. But again, I'm an a-hole. And that happened. 100%. Like I said, I either have it set to private or I don't know. Because I don't even like looking at those comments back and forth. Because sometimes, you're sitting there, you're just in the moment. or you have a beer or something, not that's an excuse, and you blast back at somebody. And yeah, that's life. But I still don't support the NRA. Maybe they'll do better in the future. Maybe I will circle back to them, but I'm straight up. Let's see if I can get this to show up on camera. There we go. Gun Owners of America 2020. And yeah, that's the route I took. So I didn't like stop supporting a lobbyist, so to speak, but I think the GOA is doing a more efficient job of funneling the money that you donate to them for the quote membership or however much extra you're donating. They're not sending me like a magazine and all this junk mail from China wanting me to buy this crap or whatever. I mean, I get spammed so much from the NRA. I don't want to rant on the NRA because I'll piss some people off again, but I just got tired of the junk mail. So far, hopefully they don't change. The Gun Owners of America, the GOA, pretty much it's straight up. If they send me something, it's because there's something happening. Just like the other day, I was on a chat, or I was watching a chat. I don't remember what it was. Maybe it was the Stalker Steve one they does on Saturday. But someone got on there. I think it was a Scotsman. Crazy Scotsman, of course. He's always got his finger on the pulse. Imagine that. Yeah. Anyway, you know, the ATF was added again. Going to change, the form you got to fill out for your background check. Wanting to change that, and basically the point was like they're putting all your personal information on that first page that has the firearm serial number, or somehow it's all together. The thought is, oh, okay, that could be used as a record. So, yeah, Mike Brown into the conspiracies and the government tracking you and stuff. That could be potentially kept as a record. Now, the way it's supposed to work is those, and if you have an FFL out there, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, you fill out that paper. If you're doing it on paper, they use that to call in your information. The background check happens, depending on your state. In my state, it's a call-in automatic. Actually, well, I'll get into that here in a second, but and then they can destroy that paperwork, so if you have an FFL, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I think it may vary from state to state. It's not intended to be a registration. If your gun shop is keeping those, maybe there may be a rule where they have to keep them for a certain amount of time, 1 or 2 years or something. Maybe the ATF raids them and they can get your information. I've done some where it's like on a computer, and then what's weird is they're still back there calling. So I don't know. I really don't know. FFL people, chime in on that. But I actually got even though we're constitutional carry in Wyoming, yeah, I am a Texan through and through, but currently living in Wyoming because this is the last base I was at, and this is where I'm stuck at for right now. And I shouldn't say stuck, because Wyoming is actually pretty great as far as gun rights. So we're going to be here for a little while. Eventual plans, get some. I sold my property in Texas, which I'm a little sad about that. I'm actually having to do an owner finance, which is a little scary. But everything's paid off with the bank. That was part of the first part. They put a down payment in, and now they're paying us. I'm like a freaking banker for the next 10 years, I guess. Doing my taxes this year sucked. But, yeah, I got to get me some more property in Texas. Anyway, I digress. Where was I at? I actually went ahead and got my concealed carry in Wyoming. Even though we are constitutional carry, love it. You can carry without a license. You can carry inside or concealed or out, not concealed, that type of thing. And I did that for a while. Didn't have a license. I had the license from Texas, but once I became a resident here, I didn't get a license or anything because it's constitutional carry. Went ahead and got a license, and just for the fact of I needed that reciprocity with the other states, like I had with my Texas license. And because I'm pretty close to Colorado, so go down there and I couldn't carry, that type of thing. Try to travel to Texas, see family, try to travel to South Dakota, see family, you know, wherever I'm traveling, you know, couldn't carry legally. I know what you're thinking, but I do try to stay legal. I am legal. As long as my rights are not being taken away. There's a few hoops I would prefer not to jump through, but anyway. Got the license. It was pretty easy for me because of the military background. I was able to use that as my training. I didn't have to take a course, all that type of stuff. Although I would have done one of their classes if I needed to. That's what I did with the Texas license. But had to go fill all the paperwork, do fingerprints, and they at the sheriff's office, they did the old school, the ink stuff. It's like, whatever. I've been fingerprinted so many times. That's the other conspiracy thing. Like, the government's tracking you. The government's been tracking me ever since I enlisted. I mean, people probably think I've got something installed in my arm tracking me. Who knows? I'm not too concerned about it. Like I said, I'm a law-abiding citizen. I mean, now if Biden gets into office, he has straight up said, you know, if we're going to come take your guns, what are you going to do against us? We're going to use an F-15 with a Hellfire missile. I won't even get into that statement of the Hellfire missile, but my response is, damn, I need me a damn F-15 now. If he gets into office, right? I need to get to the boneyard, and of course I'm going to need a pilot because there ain't no way I'm flying an F-15. I could arm it. I'll just say that. So, anyway, Second Amendment, that's a big thing. Gun owners of America, that's the route I'm going. Back to MrHolster, circling back. You know, try to patch things up while you can, type of thing. Even if it's not a perfect relationship. I did that. I wasn't getting responses. Like, I didn't have his phone number. Well, he may have actually gave it to me. Maybe I'm an asshole. I have to look at my list. But I just messaged him. And, you know, he's fighting the cancer and all that stuff. He didn't have time to deal with me. So, you know, I wasn't getting replies back there at the end. That's fine. No hard feelings. He needed to do what he needed to do. He probably wasn't even checking that. He wasn't checking his email, messaging, that type of stuff. Yeah, that's fine. So anyway, MrHolster, my prayers are with your family, your wife. Battling cancer sucks. You know. That's all I'm gonna say. I could get into it more, but it's just, I'm sitting here looking at my beer fridge over there. Got the magnet and a sticker. A couple of friends here, Ed and C-Max over there. My sweet daughter made a little popsicle stick angel. Put right next to him with a magnet. So, maybe I'll show you that here in a little bit. I don't have anything from MrHolster there. He didn't have any decals or anything like that for his channel, but maybe I can remedy that. I'll figure out a way. Well, you know, I guess that's about it. Before I leave, I just saw on the news, Hornet Fixer. I know you're probably not watching this, but if you are, or someone get him the message. Be careful, because apparently in Florida, right now, there's a pack of herpes-infested monkeys running around infecting humans. I won't get into how these humans are getting infected with the herpes from these monkeys. But keep your little mini locked and protected. That came out wrong. I meant his car, okay? Keep it locked, protected, fueled up, whatever. He don't have a van, no matter what he says. He could rent one, maybe. Talking about vans and... Oh, I owe Ebomi. This is going to count. I'm going to say this. I owe Ebomi a VR. He wants me to do a 5 minutes of war VR. Well, if I had somehow magically learned that in 5 minutes we're going to be at war, I'm probably going to just be doing what I'm doing right now. Because war to me means the area I'm at is gone. It's wiped out. Now if this is some Red Dawn stuff where instead of the enemy, freaking lobbing nukes over at us, yeah, may I grab an AR-15, arm up my neighbors, that type of stuff, as best we can, and fight back. But I mean, I am not in fighting shape, I'll say that. So, but I'll give it a go. Try my best. If you have 5 minutes, it's like I'm sitting here thinking, where are my kids at? Are they at school? Wife, she's over at the university or over at the hospital doing whatever they do, not rounds, but clinicals. How do I get my family back together? So that'd probably be my main goal, is grab that go bag I've shown them before, arm up with probably a Ruger. What would I use? I'd probably grab my 9mm, honestly. Pretty good. I've had a lot of rounds with it at the range, so pretty accurate, more rounds, that type of thing. My 1911 is going to be, one of my 1911s, probably my Ruger, is going to be my most accurate, so I don't know. Grabbing whatever is ready, that type of thing. And trying to get my family back into a central location, which is probably here. I'm not going to go to the base. They're not going to let you on if it's war. Even someone like me, they're not going to let me and the family on. They might eventually open up the gates to try to help civilians, but they're going to be in lockdown. They're going to be in Delta. So if you're next to a military installation and you are not active duty, don't even try. Hunker down, bunker down wherever you can, and try to keep your head down and protect your area. Be that close in security for your property, type of thing. And yeah, if you ever watch Bizza Rizza Jizza, yeah, that's how you say it, Ebomi. Bizza Rizza Jizza. I think I put the link on one of your vids. That dude's awesome. He did an entire series on EMP, like after the EMP. And it's basically like an audio book. I don't know if he's writing it as he's just saying it or making it up on the fly. I think he wrote it. I don't know. This would be, talk about David Brown writing books. Bizza Rizza Jizza, this would be a good one for him to turn into an actual book. Because it's right on. It's like what would happen basically. It's like the after the EMP. So, one of those attack threats, maybe an EMP. Nuke exploded in the atmosphere. There's a whole, alright, I can't even say, but not just anything like that is going to cause mass EMP damage like we think, like we see in the movies, but it could, depending on how it's built. So his audiobook is, boom, EMP, the grid is down, society's broken down, U.S. has been attacked and decimated, that type of thing. What are you doing? And it's basically him trying to keep his family safe. And the first part is they're bunkered down in their house, in their neighborhood. I'm gonna put a link to his. I'll put a link to his channel down below. Whoosh! And you can go listen to this because it's a pretty good series. Trust me, if you're into audiobooks, and his voice is perfect for it too. But ooh, this is like a 16-ounce can, so I can refill this fancy ass glass. But what I like is it's fairly realistic as far as what would you do. You're not going to run out and join some militia randomly. That's not going to happen probably in that EMP event. Bunker down where he's at. Hopefully the grid can get restored, but and just a quick digression, President Trump, first president in history to actually work to protect the grid, the electrical grid, from EMP specifically. Why has this not been done? Why wasn't this done in the freaking 50s and 60s as it was being built? I mean, that threat was around, and it's just grown. So with an executive order, that is happening now. So it's underway. I couldn't find any specifics on which portions have already been fortified, but you know, there is ways to do it, and it's going to be good. So that's underway. Thank you, President Trump, for that. Protect our grid. That's important. So back to Bizza Rizza Jizza. Hunkers down, and eventually, you know, this could happen. You know, some random gangs or stuff, or just people that weren't prepared, are trying to take what others have, going from house to house, that type of thing. People are going to die. They're not prepared. But the scary part that he brought up was, you know, these random people, they're burning houses down. You know, setting fires to stuff. Take what they need, put it ablaze or whatever. And there's not going to be like a working operational fire department, that type of stuff. Maybe they've scattered, maybe they're dead, maybe, you know, maybe they've gone home. I don't know. Hopefully, and even you know, we like to think of it as we're in a rule of law society, and if things break down, EMP, whatever, all of a sudden it's going to be lawless. Hopefully, you know, our law enforcement, the firefighters and stuff like that still stay as a coalesced unit, state troopers, whatever, and we still have some type of, you know, rule of law going on as a society. And if you're not, you know, if you have any type of morals, not going to be a problem, but we know that's not the case. That was his point, and that's what happened. Winds up being battles. I actually don't want to ruin it for you. It is intense, and then it moves on from there. They have to eventually bug out, so to speak. But the first plan for me would be bug in a 5 minutes to war type scenario, or the new one he's got 30 minutes to war. How many minutes to war do we have? So try to gather the family, bug in as long as possible, and then get the hell out of Dodge, I guess, when it comes to it, if you can. Your vehicles aren't going to be working. There is a way, you know, depending on the age of the vehicle, that type of stuff, get them going again, depending on the damage. Some things are going to be shielded naturally, some things, it just depends. There's a lot of variables with that EMP attack. Hell, I could be down here and I'm pretty sure my G-Shock is going to work. I've had this thing forever. But maybe not. Maybe it gets fried. You know, cell phones, cell towers are going to be down. But if I had, my micro mobile communications from Midland, maybe I'll line this with something that built-in Faraday cage, that type of stuff. I'm going to prep for that EMP. And then my family would have two-way communications for as long as I have batteries. That'd be the other issue. You got to be able to charge this stuff up. So, but it's possible. Now, there's always possibilities. Faraday cages, whatever. I'm not a scientist. Although I have stayed at a Holiday Inn. Gosh, can I try to finish this? Then we're going to do our final toast to MrHolster. I'll put, if you don't know who MrHolster is, I'll put his link down below. His vids are still great. I'm so glad. He was talking about just deleting his channel because you know how YouTube does. They start attacking because MrHolster was a gun channel. I don't know about his other 500 channels he has out there in the ether, but it's legit. Whereas my channel is just a random, whatever comes across me at the time type of channel, random chaos. So YouTube was attacking his channel. I don't think he ever made a dime off of it. I don't even know if it was monetized, honestly. I know a lot of people are like, I'm not going to monetize. But I say monetize because maybe that pisses some people off. But maybe that gets you, you know, in 6 months, maybe it gets you $10, whatever it is. And you can put that right back into your channel. Maybe you're getting more than that. Maybe you can buy a better camera. You know, because you're making content and interacting with people. It takes time. It takes money with equipment. I'm just using the most basic camcorder here, and that's all you really need. Some people do it with their cell phones. My cell phone is not. It's over here now. It can record video, but not well because the memory is just not there, even with the memory card. And it takes forever to get it off of there too. So I just got this little camcorder there. That's all it takes, you know. But I would say probably to get one that autofocuses. That's the other thing. $150, $200 for a camcorder that has decent voice, sound capture. I don't know how it'll be in the wind. That's the other thing. That's what's nice about down here at Snake Pit. You don't have the wind. And I kind of stopped. Well, I did stop recording really when I go out to the range because I'm just kind of done with the range I'm at. I'll go there still, but you try to set up a camera and they pester you, they bug you. There's not really a rule that you can't have it, but they don't like it. You know, maybe they think I'm going to show off or something, but definitely not. There's people way better out there that's showing off than me. Speaking about communication, I did get a 102-inch whip antenna in the mail from Amazon for my CB that's in the truck. I'll be installing that sometime when the weather is not 17 degrees. I got to run the cable to it. I did have one of those magnetic ones, but it was crappy and it broke actually not too long ago. So I'm gonna put this. I think I'm gonna put this whip. I got the big ball mount. There's a little kit I got off Amazon. Probably put that on my rear bumper. Problem with I'm gonna put it on my 03 F-150. Problem with it is the bed is like I think it's fiberglass because it's the step side or flare side, whatever they called it back then. So it doesn't even have stake pockets. So it's kind of hard to mount an antenna back there, and I don't want it up at the front. I could drill and put one in the roof. Wouldn't be as big as this one, but that would be the optimal. I just don't want to do that. So I'm gonna try this one. 102-inch whip. It's like the perfect size apparently, and it should be high enough from the bumper to get over. That's the other thing. Get over the cab. Now, any of you out there are big into antenna, CBs, whatever. I'm trying to figure out. I thought it'd be best to have it on the passenger side bumper, on that side, and get up. But I'm not sure. Maybe on the driver's side. Somewhere I thought I'd read that the passenger side is going to project, because you know it'd be grounded into the chassis of the truck, and it'll project more out that way. So you would have better range for oncoming traffic, talking to them, which is the most useful thing with the CB on the highway, at least for me, because I'm not a trucker anymore. I did that before I was joined the Air Force. Yeah, I joined late, 23 years old, so I drove over the road for a couple years. Been so long. I actually drove. That was one of the reasons I was picked to drive some in the Air Force, because I already had the experience. I actually maintained my CDL the whole time, even though I got that little Air Force paper license or whatever. I could drive and yeah, hauling some pretty unique cargo when needed, even though that wasn't my primary job. We had to transport things periodically and load them. But I digress. So I'm thinking passenger side bumper. You guys let me know. I don't know, what do you think? Driver's side bumper? Either way, it's going back there. There's just no other good spot on my F-150. You may have seen it. I don't have a toolbox. I do have a tonneau cover over it. That's another problem right there, so I can't clamp on even onto the bed rail or anything like that. But this is going to be huge, and I think it's going to be tall enough to get over the cab, so it should still transmit. And I just mainly got it for fun. I mean, I'm not really using that much. I just like messing around with it every once in a while. If I do have to take a trip, it's not too far. It's maybe the next town down or whatever for usually a freaking doctor visit that I've been scheduled for. Fun to turn it on and kind of listen, maybe interact a little bit with the traffic out there, and that type of thing. With that, since most of you are probably gone, I want to end this. Like I said, it's a school night, so this is going to end it for me. What time is it? Maybe I get it uploaded tonight. It's going to be a late upload the way this thing. I've been having a problem with my. I use Filmora Wondershare, I think it's the name of it, and it's worked beautifully up until like the last 6 months. That's the other thing. I don't know if maybe I just have too much crap loaded on my hard drive, but I got plenty of space. But the audio doesn't sync up right when you're trying to review it. Makes it real hard to cut clips in and stuff like that. You can pre-render it. It helps a little bit, but so I kind of have to guess at it, and then once I actually do the full render, it's fine. The audio aligns with my mouth, type of thing. Really weird. I gotta figure that out. But if you're still with me, this one is for MrHolster. Cheers, sir. Well, actually, this will be a toast, the final toast. A toast to you and to the sunny slopes of long ago. Boom.